Well, I set some pretty big goals in the third quarter of this year. Did we hit them? Did we miss? Well, let's talk about it in today's video. Let's go. Well, hello everybody, and welcome to day 21 of the quarter 3 financial goals hop. I am Kendra, and welcome to Save Money Saves You, where we save our money so our money can save us and we have fun along the way. And if you are here for the very first time in the financial goals hop, there are several channels that we all get together and we talk about our goal progress for the year. And so in these videos that you have been following along, or maybe not, we are in the third quarter, which is July, August, and September. And we are going to talk about my goals, whether or not we hit them, all that fun stuff. So this is the Financial Goals Hop calendar. You can find this on Donna Powered by Creativity's website. And the Financial Goals Hop is a collaboration between Donna Powered by Donna, I can't talk, Miss Donna at Donna Powered by Creativity. It is with Budget with Mama Bear and Andra, the traveling and savings chief. And so at the beginning of the month, Miss Donna kicked us off. And then on yesterday, we hopped with Lake and Bacon. You're with me today. And then on Thursday, we will hop with the Dramatic Panda Canadian Finance Journey on Friday. And we will close out with the Budgeting Sisters on Saturday. So you are able to see the playlist. I believe Miss Donna usually has that posted up on her website. So feel free to go over there. There have been a lot of gems dropped, a lot of nuggets. It is some great information, and I look forward to adding my little portion. So let's talk about it. So for quarter 3, when I did the quarter 2 video, I had high hopes because I had lined up some things for an internship. So those of you who do not know, I am a full-time college student. I just entered my last year. And so this is basically crunch time for me, as far as all of the things and trying to secure a job after graduation, right? And so I was very confident when we kicked off quarter 3 that I would have an internship for the summer. And so I pretty much set out goals with that in mind for me having a summer job. And so I was confident that I would be able to continue to regularly contribute to our emergency fund and just kind of keep the savings thing going. Well, unfortunately, that did not happen. Boo, right? And so the initial goals that I set for July were to save $75 toward the emergency fund, zero out all our accounts at the end of the month, and increase my income. So we didn't do the $75, and I didn't get a well, I did zero out, but it wasn't for saving. It was because we needed it. So in the summer, July, August, and most of September, we just, yeah, it was rough like it was last year. There were a lot of times when all I could save was quarters. And so we just couldn't. And so going into September, it was kind of like a domino, snowball effect, where basically we weren't able to cover everything in August, and it just snowballed into September. So now instead of 1 month behind in something, we're 2 months. Well, let's move on to September 21st of this year, and my mother-in-law passes away. And I had mentioned before that we were full-time caregivers for her. And she lived with us. And so before she really started going downhill, we had an arrangement where the bills would get split. And so she had her portion of the rent, and then she carried some of the bills, and then we had our portion of the rent, and we carried some of the bills. Well, fast forward to September 21st, she has passed away. And so now, instead of having half of all the bills, we now have to come up with all of it. And so what made it more difficult is that it turns out my mother-in-law had no insurance. The policy paperwork that we found, it turns out those policies had lapsed. And when I say lapsed, I mean years ago, as in early 2000s and late 90s. So there was no insurance. And so any money that had been given to her had to now go toward her burial. And so needless to say, finishing off September, we did not have all of the bill money. So if you know anything about having to bury a loved one, especially when there's no money, that is it's emotional, it's stressful, it's hard, and it's all of those things. And yeah, so basically, yeah, we if it wasn't for our church community and friends and family, we wouldn't have made it. I'm just gonna say that it took a village, but we got it done, and we were able to honor what it is that she wanted done. When she wanted to be buried back in her home state, we were able to do that with in coordination with her family, her siblings, and so yeah, we made it happen. But of course, life has to still move on, and unfortunately, when it comes to the finances, that domino that was rolling downhill is it was continuing to roll. So yeah. So that is how quarter three ended. We didn't get to save towards our emergency fund, and I wasn't able to really increase my income like I wanted to. And we now have all of the bills to swing. So yeah. So let's talk about the SMART goal. So if you haven't heard of a SMART goal is basically a plan, or rather you it's a type of goal, and you want to have it because it allows you to better meet the goal because you have certain things and certain characteristics of it. So SMART actually is an acronym, and S stands for specific. So when you want to set a goal, you want to be very specific in what you're saying. So in other words, you don't want to say, "Oh, I'm going to lose weight." That's not specific. Instead, you want to say, "I'm going to lose 10 pounds in by 3 months." That's specific. Um, and so for my first specific goal, as I said, I wanted to fully fund all of our short-term sinking funds. Now, when I did this in quarter two, I believe. I set this in quarter two. And so I wanted to fully fund all of our sinking funds. And so once you set a specific goal, you want it to be measurable. Measuring is basically how are you going to track it? How are you going to know that you're on track to reach your goal? And so at that point, I was looking to save $50 each month. And of course, we know based on what I just shared with you, that did not happen. And A is attainable. So basically, can you even realistically do well? That's all right, I'm giving it away. But can you even feasibly reach it? Is this even a doable goal? And so I put that as long as we consistently save, we can achieve this. And I did believe that by setting $50 aside a month, we were going to be able to fully fund all of the sinking funds. And is it relevant? How's this going to benefit you? So this will help us keep from taking loans out. No, that's the biggest problem with us is when we don't have enough money, you go borrow or you put stuff on credit, and then you in debt, and the cycle just keeps continuing. And then when you want your goal to be timely or time bound, which is when do you want to achieve it? And so this goal, I wanted to have it done by December 31st of 2025. And if you know, like I know, we're not gonna make that. But this is how you set a SMART goal: specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and timely or time bound. We are not on track to meet this goal. Prayerfully, perhaps we can stick it out in 2026. And so the other big SMART goal that I had was to work on our $1,000 emergency fund. Yes, I know $1,000 is not enough for an emergency, but it will definitely help those little small ones that seem to pop up, like my son um, needing some things that, yeah, some things because he's grown out of some things. And so, yeah, is that an emergency fund? No, but did I use some money for that? Yes. Yeah, it's a work in progress. It needs to be a sinking fund. It is now. So $1,000 emergency fund, specific, because I put a numerical value on it. I want $1,000 saved in the emergency fund. Is it measurable? I created my Road to 1,000 binder. I showed this in quarter three, I believe, and so I was going to use that binder to keep track of how we're doing. Is it attainable? It is doable. At that point, if we were saving $75 a month and zeroing out all of the bank accounts and applying that money towards it, then we will be able to reach our goal. Is it relevant? It will give us a little bit more security than what we have now. And the goal was to have this done by December 31st of this year. Again, did not happen, not happening. So, how do I feel about us pretty much missing all of these goals for quarter three? Am I upset? Not really. Am I sad? Yeah, but mainly because of the situation. It's situational, you know. I was hoping that we would be in a better situation financially and I would have been able to have some regular work before God called my mother-in-law home. Didn't happen, but we are thankful and we are grateful that we are still here. We are still in this home and we just trusted in God. I'm gonna tell you one thing about me and my family is we are some Jesus following, God fearing, Bible quoting folks around here. And so that's what we are standing on, and we are standing in faith that we are going to be all right. Okay. So now that I told you about this disastrous quarter three that we have, I dare to have goals for quarter four. Can you believe that? Oh, you guys, I've been doing this entire video without the flash. Hold on. I cannot believe I did that. Hopefully you got to see everything I did. If not, good Lord, I'm gonna have to erase this and do this all over. So of course, stuff just won't let me be great. First I recorded the part of this video without my flash on or the light, and then my alarm goes off. But you know what? We're gonna get through this, right? We are. So for quarter four, I had pretty much written these out for all 4 quarters when I first did this. So these are familiar. Saving $75 toward the emergency fund. I I'm gonna put that one on hold, honestly. And I say that because right now we are trying to make sure that we have everything that we need to cover our basics. And so we just can't aim toward the emergency fund right now. Perhaps, I'm able to secure a job and get some more income, we can revisit. But right now, we're just trying to make sure we cover what my mother-in-law was paying, and that is priority one. So that is why you see me say one for this month to catch up on all the overdue bills. We got a lot of them done because I did start back in school in September, so I got a little bit of a refund. And so I was able to bring some of them current. But of course, now adding on my mother-in-law's portion of the bills, we do still have some that we're working to catch on. So that is going to be a goal for this month, catch up all those overdue bills. Increase my income as best I can. I do work on campus. I also have another part-time job. I'm helping a friend of mine with her nonprofit in some case management and client services. So I do that. But I really need to bring in some more income. I do DoorDash, Flex. And then I know you guys have heard me mention that I do have my life insurance license, but it takes money when you want to build a business. You got to have money. And so when we don't even have our basics covered, like I haven't been able to really devote the time it takes and what I need to put my effort into the business, especially with me being back in school. So it's not going away. It's just kind of on pause a little bit just for now until we can get everything kind of stable and settled. And then I will definitely be revisiting that. And then applying for jobs. So I am 2 quarters away from being done with school, which means at the end of December, I will only have 3 more months left. And so October is typically the time for the career fair. And so that's the time for me to start applying for jobs. And so that's what I plan to do. And I already started actually. So my goal is to continually apply for jobs with the goal actually for me to have a job by the time I'm done with school. And then I have those 3 months where I can be working, and then it's graduation in June, and then go from there. So that is my plan. Again, in November, not worrying about the emergency fund. I do still want to zero out all the accounts because that is one way that I was able to actually put a boost in those sinking funds earlier in the year. Again, work on making sure that I have an increase in my income because, again, we now have to swing all of the rent instead of half. We now have all of the utilities instead of half. And so I've got to consistently make sure that I focus on doing what I can to maximize the ability for me to bring in some income. My husband is disabled, and so anything else that comes in this house, it's got to be for me. Again, continue to apply for jobs, because you can never apply for too many. Listen, I'm gonna apply to somebody, give me something, tell me no or something. And then in the month of December, end of the year, I'm looking to again keep zeroing out, still working on making sure I bring that income in and applying for jobs. So pretty bare minimum, because we've just got a lot going on. And right now, the biggest goal is to just make sure we keep our head above water. Matter of fact, we can even get to the water line. That is the goal. So I gotta be honest, you guys, I wasn't thrilled about doing the video, because I was like, I didn't even hit my goals. It was terrible, and we have just had a time. So but I always said, I believe that everything that I go through is a lesson for someone else. And so I, wanted to come on here and show, hey, we didn't hit them, but that's okay. I'm still setting goals. Now, I didn't get a chance to do another SMART goal for this quarter. I probably won't, because again, we are in survival mode these last 3 months, and we just want to make sure that we just keep the roof over our head. So that's where we are right now, just keeping the roof over our head. But I do still save my quarters. So those are my Teeny Thursday videos. And as I get little change here and there are some main things that we still have to fund every week. Like my boys still have to get their haircuts, because the one time I tried to cut my baby's hair when he was little, I put a plug in his head. So I have been banned from clippers, which is fine with me, because, my little handsome man is 19 now, and I don't think he would appreciate his mama plugging his head. So that is something that we do. So I'm continuing to make those small saves into those things that I know that we're going to need cash for. So we keep doing that. And then, yeah, guys, we're just keeping our head above water and trying to keep it moving. So pretty short video. I don't think I went too long, and I hope I didn't, bore you half to death. Not exciting, not exactly fun when you miss your goals, but we're still here at the end of the day, and we are still practicing good saving habits, and we are still saving our money, even though it's small amounts, because every little bit helps. So everyone, I will see you all tomorrow as we hop, no, not tomorrow, I'm sorry, on Thursday, as we hop with the dramatic panda. And I forgot what I was going to say. I literally just drew a blank. That's crazy. But have a great evening. Have a great week. And remember, everybody, keep saving your money, because your money will always save you. Bye bye.